Okay, the regular Eveleth City Council meeting scheduled for 4 p.m. August 5th, 2014 will now come to order. Roll call.
Councillor Koivunen?
Here.
Councillor Lillis?
Here.
Mayor Vaisalovich?
Here. Item C, approval of the minutes from City Council Workshop, June 17th. City Council Workshop, July 1st. City Council Meeting, July 1st. And City Council Workshop, July 22nd. Can I have a motion that we approve the minutes of these meetings?
So moved.
Support. Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number D, approval of the agenda. We've got two additions to the agenda, and item 13 will be hippodrome ceiling repairs, and item 14 will be the fall cleanup schedule. If no one has any objections, I would like to approve the agenda for tonight with those additions. Oh, that'll be number, I thought that was on here already.
Just put it on the consent if you want. That's number 6.
Is this number 5 on a consent, or is that a
No,
different?
I think we would.
Oh, okay, I think we'll just put that on the consent agenda then. As item number 6, take the other one off.
It would be 5. 5 is separate from 6.
Oh, okay, that's, all right, perfect. Okay, can I have a motion that we approve the consent agenda and the regular agenda with these changes?
So moved. Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We don't have any appointments or presentations this evening. And if anyone from the audience wishes to address the council, we'll give them a few minutes at this time. Otherwise, I'll allow time at the end of the meeting. If no one wants to speak up, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda, approval of payroll. June 16th through the 30th, approval of payroll. July 1st through the 15th, approval of claims. July 2014, revised pay equity report. IRRB grant agreement, time extension, and resolution authorizing the city to make applications to the IRRB funds for residential redevelopment grant program. If anyone that doesn't have any questions, ask for a motion that we approve the consent agenda. So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have no public hearings at this point, no unfinished business. And we'll get into new business. Item J1, introduction and first reading of an ordinance repealing and replacing section 4.50 sign regulations of the city code. I know we've went over this quite a few times, and I think the last couple of years we've been kind of looking at doing something with this. Anybody have any changes or comments? Otherwise, we'll approve the introduction and the first reading. We have a motion, we move forward with this then? So, okay, motion made by Koivunen, there's support.
I'll support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Number 2, change order number 1 from Wasabi Bituminous in the amount of $1,150 for Hockey Plaza and Library Landscaping. I have a motion that we approve the request, change order number 1.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen. There was support. Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3, pay request number 2 from Wasabi Bituminous in the amount of $30,420 for the Hockey Plaza and Library Landscaping. Are those projects done now, or?
They are done. There was a small punch list, and then I am expecting that we'll have that final, payment at the next meeting.
Okay. If there's no further questions, ask for a motion that we approve pay request number 2 to Masabi Bituminous.
So moved.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Item J4, pay request number 4 from Lency Enterprises in the amount of $108,395 for auditorium renovation phase 2 project. Mike, how are we coming along with that?
I think the project's going very well. Unfortunately, 2 material delays. Originally, if you recall, I think I had mentioned that the HVAC equipment wasn't supposed to be delivered till the middle of July. Now that's backed up till the middle of August.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, huge component. The other problem that I think the architect just learned about recently was the ornamental, the decorative lights that'll be in the main auditorium. They were talking about delivery of those in mid-October, so he's trying to, as the meeting last week, trying to shorten up that schedule. I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. They've been working with the manufacturer for several months trying to get the configuration, the finish correct, and at no time during that process did they ever indicate that delivery was that far out, so hopefully they can make that schedule. But other than that, I think everything that can be done has been.
Okay. Yeah, I knew the mechanical part, there were some delays with that. Well, if anyone else have any questions, otherwise I'll call for a motion that we approve pay request number 4 to Lency Enterprises.
So moved. Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, supported by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, pay request number 1 from Masabi Bituminous, the amount of $110,537.06 for 2014 street and alley improvement projects. Which streets did we start on there, Mike? Were these just overlays?
Yeah, this was basically our street improvement project for this year, and all of the overlay segments have been completed with the exception of Norman Ave has not been done. So,
Oh, okay.
yep.
If no one has any questions of Mike or Eric, call for a motion that we approve pay request number 1 from Wasabi Bituminous for the street and alley improvement project.
So moved. Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6. Consider authorizing Director of Public Works to purchase a complete rotary assembly or new pumper for reservoir booster pump number 1. What is the total cost here? $88.38, Mike?
That would be to replace the pump entirely, and I just spoke to Scott Smith this afternoon, and there were some little tabs that hold the assembly, actually the wear sleeves next to the impeller in place. They had corroded on the current pump. He was able to get out remnants of those items, and he'll be able to replace those. So I guess the 2 options were to replace the complete rotating assembly at a cost of $66.23, or the entire pump was over $8,800. So we should be able to get by with just the rotating assembly, $6,600. And we think that should last. We're seeing some scale build up on the inside of the housing, not really much wear. Somewhere down the road, we might have to look at replacing these pumps. They are, I think, either 79 or 80. Done rotating assemblies on the other 2, still working quite well. We can get by with less cost.
Now, what do you think for longevity? Is there much of a trade-off? We went with the new, or?
Delivery on both is the same, 10 to 12, it's way out. That's
I like the longevity part. I mean, for another $2,000, we got a brand spanking new one that we don't have to worry about piecing together.
That's what I'm
And
thinking.
then I mean, it's,
What do you guys, what do you think?
I'd be on board with that. I think it's gonna cost us almost $7,000 to rebuild an old one, or, $8,800 for a brand new one. I think we're best, bang for our buck is to get the new one.
That's kind of what I was thinking, like you
Spend
say.
it now rather than later.
Yeah, then you
We
got
know how it
costs.
creeps up on us and gets us in the butt, and it usually does, so I think we should go new with the warranty and everything else on it.
Well, I'm for that. You wanna put that in the form of a motion, Joe, that we go with the new?
I would be happy to that we go with the new one for $8,838.
I will support.
Motion made by Coivinon, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Item number 7, consider authorizing the purchase of a new slide for fail location playground. This is gonna make the kids happy down there, Mike, Park Commission?
Well, I think so, yes, and I think there was some discussion with Jackie on possible funding sources, since this wasn't a budgeted item, it was something that was brought up at the last couple park.
You know, I like these kind of projects for the kids because in the flurry of everything we do around here, you always seem to forget, you know? In those parks, we've got some nice parks in town. We're real fortunate to have the park space.
There have been a lot more, it seems like a lot more young or families with children in this part of the community. I've seen a lot more.
That's what I seen even in my neighborhood. Now you've got another batch of kids, they're all pretty much the same age, you know, around preschool. There hasn't been for many years. That many up there, about 3-4 households got young kids again there. And this is the total cost, Mike, 772524.
Yes, that's correct with installation.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna install it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I like that part of it, then they got the liability. If something is right, we got somebody to sue then, right, John? Well, I'd like to go with that quote for the whole works, including the installation, if everybody else is in agreement.
I'll make that a motion, Mayor.
And I'll support it.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Resolution setting a public hearing on to vacate alley adjacent properties owned by Polly Sorkin, Myron and Janet Cook, Teresa Levine, and Janine Levine in West Eveleth. Boy, this was a long time, and this one here, but that's good. Get them on the tax rolls. Anybody have any questions? We'll call for a motion to have a public hearing. City
Also move.
Support.
motion made by Koivunen, supported by Lillis. Any further discussions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next resolution, accepting donations for movies in the park, an amount of $300 from Cliffs Natural Resources. To call for a motion that we accept the donation from Cliffs.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, another donation from 2 wooden rocking chairs. These are chairs donated from Ruth Carlson, and they were up the library when we had the celebration. 100th anniversary, very, very nice furniture and appropriate for the library. I'd like to call for a motion that we accept the donation of the 2 rocking chairs from Ruth Carlson.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Lillis. Any further discussion?
Do we send letters of thank you to Cliff sent to? Okay, because I think they well deserved, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing really good at donations this
Yeah.
year. It's really nice to see that. Item number 11, resolution accepting donation to the police department in the amount of $50 from the Quad Cities Rotary Club. Call for a motion that we accept that donation.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Item number 12, resolution authorizing to exec Minnesota Department of Transportation grant for the airport improvement excluding land acquisition. Does Virginia have to pass a similar one too, Jackie, or?
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay. Call for a motion that we pass this resolution.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support?
Support.
Support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 13. Motion that we authorize the Public Works Director to proceed with hippodrome ceiling repairs in a timely fashion, so we're good for the hockey season. We might have to grind on them a little bit, Mike.
Get that.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? If not, you have a motion that we give Mike the authority to get that done for us?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Koivunen, support by Lillis. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 14, approve the fall cleanup schedule, running from September 22nd to October 17th. Pick up yard waste in the city alleys on October 13th. And these are gonna be going into utility bills?
Correct.
Anyone have any questions on the fall cleanup schedule?
It's a depressing thought, Mayor, but I guess it's inevitable that fall is just around the corner.
It's doggone scary, thinking of last year. Anyone have any other questions? We'll call for a motion that we approve the fall cleanup schedule as written.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Lillis, support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That concludes our new business. Anybody on the council or staff have any committee reports or presentations?
Well, I guess I would just like to make sure that the viewing public has an opportunity to perhaps attend the National Night Out festivities this evening. Starts at 5, I believe, and runs till 7 p.m. The locations are Northside Park as well as Leonidas Community Center. Very good event, nice to get out and meet your neighbors and possibly help take a bite out of crime. One other just quick note is let the public know that we're probably going to be seeing some work being done at the intersection of Highway 53 and Hattrick Avenue by 5 Seasons, and that is some new sign structures that are going to be going in there to alert traffic both on Highway 53 as well as on Hattrick Avenue and Industrial Boulevard. I think they're anticipating to have the work completed by the end of August, so there's going to be some work there. Hopefully it's going to make that intersection a little bit safer. And that would be it, Mayor.
Yeah, it's not exactly what we hoped for, but we got something out of our efforts. Joe, do you have anything to add, or?
No, nothing at the moment.
No, it's been pretty quiet here in the home front. I had one nice compliment from a Leonidas resident. They said, they called the police department, they said they used to wait hours. No, they said 5 minutes the car was up there. So they're a little shocked by the speed. Well, that's it. Everybody did such a good job, this summer with the cleanups. And all the holidays, 4th of July, everything went very well.
Oh, you look at the town
did a lot
now,
of
even
work.
you cruise through down on, by the parks, it looks gorgeous. The cemetery, we've got compliments on the cemetery, it looks very nice. I think our crews have done a good job, as usual.
I just had one question, I don't know, maybe for Tony. The boulevards in front of the property, is that considered the owner's responsibility according to our ordinances?
If I'm not mistaken, it was just like when I had the bar. Okay, we didn't have to shovel the front sidewalk off, but you did. So, I would think the boulevard's the same way, and most people, when they cut their grass, cut the boulevard, unless they're mad at the city, of course, and they say it's their job, but, 90% of them cut it.
Well, that's what I say. I see a few, and I don't know if those are properties that are maybe just vacant or, rentals.
I think they're rentals and they're vacant, because there's a couple that I do that are next to them like that, the grass is knee-high and...
Well, I'm just thinking because, a couple of them I noticed where people are pretty meticulous about their yards, and before they start calling,
Yeah.
getting a little upset.
I don't blame them. A lot of people, they
been
take care of
patient.
their yards.
They've been patient, give it a little time, but, Maybe we'll have to look into that one a little further.
I think the threshold for the property line would be the middle of the street
Okay.
by ordinance. Unless that's changed.
Because I know down the Twin Cities, if you don't shovel your sidewalk, they'll
You're
come and
fine.
do it for you and you'll get a
And you'll
bill.
get a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually done by ordinance, Mr. Mayor.
Is that ordinance, John?
The city has an easement, of course, that extends beyond the center of the roadway, as you're talking about.
Yeah, the
But
responsible.
I know Virginia has an ordinance that requires you to shovel sidewalks in front of your businesses, things of this sort. Eveleth, I don't know if you have an ordinance.
Yeah, we do, and that would be, you're responsible to maintain from your property to the middle of the street. It would be the maintenance area.
Or at least out to the curb line.
Yeah,
Correct,
because
but
I'm
I think-
concerned about that grass.
There's no question the boulevard would be included in your responsibility as well as the sidewalk.
Because I see we have a couple of the foreclosed homes, and I see that's getting a little out of line. One coming right up on Grant up from Mary's Morsels.
And that's been like that the whole summer. They're like cutting it once every 3 months. you
Yeah,
know,
I
it's-
guess they gotta get a little more rigorous schedule.
Yeah.
Take care of that stuff, you know, it's,
It goes back to like some other communities are doing. It gets to a certain point where their neighbors aren't, we send somebody and cut it, and we send them a bill for $75.
well, we used to
Very
do that
simple.
before.
And then once they get a couple of them $75 bills, they start cutting their grass pretty fast.
I rode around, one time, with Bob Kivela, we looked, and there's some for sale signs, the banks, and, we were calling from a car, the cell phone, asking them about it, and a couple of them said, well, who will cut it? And we gave them a phone number. Sure enough, they got a hold of somebody, their banks that were out of the area. I don't know if we have a list anymore of people who do that kind of thing.
I think we do.
Do we?
It also goes for snow plowing.
Well, I don't have anything else to bring up. Mike, you have anything?
Just one item. Recall last year, summer of 2013, we had a lot of taste and odor issues with our water. Earlier this year, we got approval from the Department of Health, and we put in a building, kind of a pilot project to feed powder activated carbon to take care of taste and odor. And we've had that system up and running since, I think, early July. However, we've only used it sparingly. Our plant operators made some other adjustments, different chemical process and sludge handling at the plant. But we really haven't noticed the smell in the water plant. So we have run the pilot, although it hasn't been continuous. So we really would like to get some feedback from people that had problems last year, what's it like this year. I think what we'd like to do, the one difference, normally our water temp gets up to about the upper 60s, the lake water that we pull in. This year, we're still kind of running in the lower 60s. Is it a temperature issue why we haven't had as many problems, or is it these operational changes? Different. But we'd certainly like to get feedback from people that had problems last year and find out how are we doing this year. I think what I would like to do is talk to the Department of Health and see if we can't leave that pilot in place for another summer, just in case the water doesn't get warm enough to form those same organics that it did last year. At least we'll have the system in place and we can try it one more time.
Yeah, it was just a good thing you brought that up. I was thinking about that the other day. I haven't heard anything yet. I don't know if anybody else has. Because I never had an issue where I live up there and or the neighbors, so. And I think across the street there were some, I had some issues. It was so sporadic and random.
I certainly haven't got any calls, but we did get notice from one resident out in Vale Township. One day it was gone, so really appreciate the feedback. Be a lot better than a year ago, and whether that's just a difference in the weather and the temperature, or if these changes that we've made that big a difference, I will probably. Know anybody that had an issue last year, please have them call.
Eric, do you have anything to add here?
Just a couple things regarding our street and alley improvements project. Talking with the contractor, it sounds like they'll be in town either as early the end of next week or the week of August 18th to begin the utility work on street and alley, as well as the Hayes Street sanitary sewer project. So, like I said, the overlays are all complete with the exception of Norton Avenue. So, other than that, that's where everything stands right now.
Well, that's good. I've been seeing a lot of street work around the towns.
Yeah.
For ones you go through. It's nice to see, being able to do that. Jack, you have anything to add?
I don't think you.
John?
Nothing, Mayor?
We got your letter concerning the two properties you're concerned about. You get any feedback yet?
No.
Okay.
We also send letters out on the hockey board issue, and I think I sent a copy to you.
Yep, yeah.
And Mike, I think, has seen it. Hopefully we'll get a response out of those folks, because I think they've got some responsibility there.
Well, I think when that one-time, repair, that's kind of an admission there's an issue. Well, I don't have anything further to bring up, and anyone from the audience have anything? Yes, sir.
One question for Mr. Lillis, if the homeowner is responsible for everything up at the center of the road, what about potholes?
Well, I guess I probably misstated my intention there. That would be with regard to maintenance of weeds and vegetation. Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. I'm glad you asked that.
Can you imagine if everybody was, took it upon themselves to fill the potholes? Everybody'd have their own concept of what's good. Holy man. You have anything else you want to bring up at this time, or?
Could you talk about the West Evelyn situation with us?
Yeah, we set up the hearing, so, yeah, we're good to go.
Surprise here.
That's what I kind of thought, but don't be filling them holes now.
No, we don't have any else.
Well, if no one else has anything to address the council with, I will adjourn the meeting.